I never imagined I would become someone who measured freedom in acres instead of mortgage payments and HOA newsletters. But 8 long years in Willow Creek Estates had turned me into exactly that person. Every month, another warning, another citation, another carefully folded envelope from the self-appointed queen of beige conformity, Karen Wentworth. The final straw was a $250 fine because my porch light, according to Karen's mystical paint-swatch divination, was eggshell instead of ivory whisper. I realized then that sanity could not survive behind vinyl siding and community bylaws written by a bored tyrant. So I sold the perfectly acceptable, utterly soulless suburban box, wiped my hands of the HOA handbook, and bought 32 acres of real, stubborn land an hour past the last honest stoplight in Harker County, complete with an aging but proud 1,970 seconds, A-frame cabin that smelled like cedar and freedom. The realtor kept calling it private, like it was some feature to justify the price. But to me, privacy wasn't a selling point. Privacy was oxygen. The day I closed, I stood barefoot on the warped deck with a warm beer, the cicadas screaming like a stadium crowd, and I felt the weight of every committee meeting I'd ever been forced to attend slide off my shoulders. For 6 glorious weeks, I did everything the HOA had once tried to police out of my life. I mowed only a crooked path that led to the mailbox, because why should grass be square? I painted the front door bright fire engine red just because I loved it. I grilled steaks at 2 a.m. under a sky so loud with stars it looked like the Milky Way had spilled paint down it. I turned the music up, I let the land breathe wild, and nobody knocked, nobody emailed. Nobody cared that my curtains didn't match my flower pots. Then, on a rainy Thursday morning that tasted like fresh coffee and peace, I saw headlights wobbling through the mist at the end of my gravel drive. A silver Lexus RX, all city shine and panic-flapping wipers rolled up like a threat in pearl paint. The door opened. The universe laughed. Karen stepped out, wearing white capris, a golf visor, and holding a clipboard like a riot shield. "Morning, I'm your new neighbour," she sang, as if we'd been planning brunch. My stomach folded in on itself as she gestured uphill through wet pine trees, where bright orange survey flags fluttered like tiny warnings. "We just closed on the 40 acres bordering yours to the north. Views are just divine." I stared, waiting for her to dissolve into mist. Instead, she thrust a laminated packet at me, 27 pages, labelled Harker Highlands Protective Association. She chirped about starting small and civilized standards, and insisted that as adjoining landowners we could form a limits mandatory association together, and, if I refused, the county would enforce aesthetic compliance anyway under new nuisance statutes. Rain ticked on the metal roof like a countdown to madness. "How did you even find me?" I asked. She smiled with the same mouth that once told me my recycling bin was facing 1 degree too far west. "Oh, I have alerts. Anytime someone from Willow Creek sells and buys rural, I follow up. Standards travel." And she did move fast. By Monday, she had a whole website, harkerhighlandspoa.org, complete with a leaping deer logo and phrases like Covenant Protected Community in serif gold. By Wednesday, contractors were installing a massive stone entrance sign on the county road, letters taller than my dog declaring territory that never existed. I woke each morning to friendly reminders. My red door was a visual assault, my old Shasta trailer was an unauthorized dwelling unit, and my humble campfire ring was both a wildfire hazard and an aesthetic disgrace. Soon came certified letters, threats of fines and liens if I didn't comply within 14 days. I hired an attorney, a bolo tie-wearing woman who smelled like horses and laughed so hard at the paperwork she wiped tears from her eyes. "She can't form anything without your signature," she said. "She's play-acting government." But Karen had money and free time to weaponize. She filed complaints anyway. County inspectors came and left, shaking their heads, muttering about wasted diesel. She called the sheriff when I used my chainsaw at 8:03 p.m. Deputy Rollins told her noise ordinances didn't apply on properties larger than 10 acres, then kindly gave her the non-emergency line for future whining. She tried fencing off my driveway, claiming the easement was poorly defined, until my deed sent the tow truck away. Her dream fortress rose on the ridge, 3 stories of beige tyranny blazing under floodlights, windows like eyes judging my freedom. One night, she stood there in a white robe, reading the covenants aloud through a megaphone across the valley, a bedtime story no one asked for. I responded with a sign 8 feet tall: "This is not in Hawaii. Karen is not in charge here. Trespassers will be composted.